What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name is Dylan, and thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I really do appreciate it. You guys seriously mean the flippin' world to me. I know it's pretty nuts, but you guys are like my closest friends, and I do not take that lightly. I don't, except for all the haters out there. I mean, all you guys who actually do leave a thumbs up on my video. I'm just kidding. No, I respect all of you guys. I thank all of you guys for coming, but there is a deep place in my heart for all of you guys. I really do like hanging out with you, talking with you guys. So leave a comment down below where you're watching this from, how long you've been driving for Uber and Lyft. Maybe you're just thinking about it. But yeah, so today I'm gonna literally dive right in. I'm not holding back. I am going over everything, the advice that you need to hear. Because there are a lot of videos, I mean, a lot of them are really, really good, don't get me wrong, but when we talk about Uber and Lyft, we tend to focus, at least me, I love talking about the positivity, the positive, why Uber and Lyft, I mean, if you guys didn't know, Uber and Lyft helped me pay off thousands of dollars worth of debt, helped me save, I saved up a bunch of money too driving for Uber and Lyft. It's literally changed my life, so I love talking about it. However, there's times where I have not driven. I tend to take breaks quite a bit because there are just times when, it just doesn't make sense for me. And, it's a great thing being a part-time driver. You can sign on, you can sign off whenever you want. You can go a week without driving. You can go a week straight driving. You can go a month. You can take a year, guys. You can take a year off of driving, then come back. It's still gonna be there for you. But today I'm gonna talk about why you should not drive for Uber. I'm gonna go over, I have 8 reasons why you should not drive for Uber or for Lyft or any gig economy company like DoorDash, Instacart, whatever, but this is mainly for Uber. So before I get into the video, smash the thumbs up button, please. If you drive for Uber or Lyft, or if you're thinking about it and you wanna make more money, smash the thumbs up button for good luck. And also subscribe if you want to be notified when I do post videos about Uber and Lyft. So diving right in, without further ado, here are 8 reasons why you should not drive for Uber. So, like I said, this is probably some advice that you need to hear if you're watching this. This is the bad side of it. So here we go. Reason number 1 is you have a stable job. If you have a stable job, if you're already making, good, decent, even, I would even say, yeah, decent money, you have benefits, you have medical insurance, you're an employee, you have a set wage, you're getting paid every week or every other week. If you have a stable job, I would not drive. I mean, okay, there are gonna be exceptions for sure, but this is generally some advice that you might wanna hear. If you have a great job, honestly, I would drive for Uber part-time, but I would not quit your job and drive for Uber full-time. A lot of this is about doing full-time or part-time, but this one is, if you have a stable job, sure, drive Uber on the weekends, drive Lyft on the weekends, but don't quit your job and start driving for Lyft or Uber unless you're like, literally, you have your heart set on it and you've already driven part-time. If you have a stable job, keep your job, work at your own job, work for promotion. When you drive for Uber, there are no promotions. You're getting the same amount of money if you've done 1,000,000 rides or if you've done 1 ride. You're both getting the same amount of money. So if you have a job, work hard at your own job, work your way up, or look for a new job. Maybe you can get a bump up in earnings. A lot of people are scared to leave their job and go look for a new one. But guys, that's the greatest thing about negotiating. You can always be looking for a new job and always tell your new job, if they offer you 50K, you could be like, well, I'm making 60K at my other job. I'm really only looking to, increase my pay. And they might say, all right, well, how's 65? And you're like, wow, I just got a $5,000 per year increase in income. So yeah, that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is if you have health problems and need benefits. If you guys didn't know, Uber and Lyft do not provide benefits. If you're a full-time driver, you're not getting, like really good medical insurance. Yeah, you can purchase it on your own, but that costs a lot of money, a lot more money than if you have a normal job that does provide it. So If you're super healthy and you don't have any pre-existing medical conditions, you don't really go to the doctor, you can get a pretty inexpensive catastrophic plan, which a lot of people do who are independent workers. What's it called? Self-employed people, independent employee. I don't know. If you don't, a lot of people do get like private health insurance, but it is really costly. If let's say, for me, I have like bad, I have stuff, I need to go to the doctor. I'm not gonna get into all of my personal stuff, but if you need to go to the doctor regularly, you probably don't wanna just drive for Uber. So yeah. All right, number 3, this is also important. If you do not like driving, if you don't like driving, don't drive for Uber. I know it's silly to say, but for me, this actually falls into me. I don't like driving that much. Sure, I'm fine driving a couple hours here and there, but I personally I would hate to drive for 12 hours a day. That's just me, some people love it. I know, I have one buddy, Greg, he's been on the channel before. He says he loves driving, he can drive 12, 15 hours a day. He absolutely loves it. He doesn't get tired of it. For him, it's like therapy, For some people, you might be watching this and say, Dylan, I can drive for 10, 20 hours a day. I'm like, cool. For me, I'm like, after 2 hours, I'm tired. I want to take a nap. So really, I'm only driving 2 or 3 hours at a time. Then I take an hour break, sometimes 2-hour break, go get lunch, walk around, do whatever. Then it's just not, and for me, this is not driving full time. So I drive part time. Keep that in mind, because I will get into that towards the latter part of the video. So number 4 is you don't like dealing with people. If you don't like dealing with people, if you ever worked in a retail job and you hated it, if you ever worked in customer service, like at a phone store or any customer service job ever, and you don't like it, if you don't like kind of like fake, I guess it's like you kind of have to be a natural at it, or you have to fake it. A random stranger gets in your car and you have to pretend to like them, or maybe if you're a natural at it, you already do like them just because they're a human being. But for me, usually I don't really mind it. I don't mind somebody getting into my car, but a lot of people, they get in, they're like, hey, how's it going, man? It's so great to meet you. But if you're like pretty introverted, I wouldn't say introverts can't drive, but if you don't like hanging out with strangers all day, probably shouldn't drive for Uber. It gets really tiring. If you've ever driven, it's emotionally just as exhausting as it is physically. Of course, physically, you're sitting in your car for most of the day, or, even if you're only doing a couple hours. And, that's why I always recommend get out, go to the gym, go on a hike in the morning, then drive, or, could take a cold shower and then drive, and then, go walk around, chill at a cafe, stretch out. But for, emotionally too, it can be really draining. So if that kind of bothers you, I would not recommend it. Number 5 is this is like kind of a double-edged sword, which I was talking about earlier. This is what I did want to talk about, is number 5, if you want to get rich, don't drive for Uber. What do I mean by that? If you think that, at your job right now, you make $40,000 a year, and you've driven 1 week for Uber and you made $1,000 in a week, and now you go, oh my gosh, I can make so much more money driving for Uber. It's way easier, and I can work my own hours, and I can make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, even $100,000 a year. These are long hours you're going to be putting in, and also there's a lot of expenses that go into it too. Sure, a lot of them are tax write-offs, but like your car, car maintenance, gas, all this stuff really does add up. Taxes too. Taxes are real. But at the same time, I would drive for Uber if you do want to get rich. So I am contradicting myself, because for me, if you have a normal job, let's say you work 9 to 5 and you're making $50,000, $60,000 a year, even if you're making $80,000 a year, congratulations, you have a great salary. But then you say you want to work for Uber on the weekends. You just want to make an extra $10,000 per year. That's a great goal to have, driving for Uber. Now all of a sudden, you're making $90,000 a year. All that money that in your normal job that you're paying for taxes, you're making that back. Or let's say you have a mortgage and you your goal is to pay for your mortgage while driving for Uber, and all your other money, you throw it into investments. You know, if you can kind of build up your income while driving for Uber and stuff, that's great. But if you just drop everything and drive for Uber and think you're gonna get rich off of that, I would not recommend. So I hope that does make sense. Again, I know that is kind of goes more into financial philosophy and personal finance management. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to let me know. Okay, number 6 is you don't like your current job. I've seen a lot of people fall into this trap, and then a couple months in, they feel really lost. They're like, Dylan, I really need some help. I made a bad decision. Oh, this is what a lot of people do. They have a job. Let's say they work at, let's say they're a manager at CVS, right? Whatever, it's not an amazing job. It's decent pay, but you're just like, I don't want to be a manager at CVS. I just don't like it. And so you start driving for Uber and you think, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Let me just quit my job and drive for Uber, just leave all that behind and drive for Uber. And what ends up happening is that after a couple months, you realize, shoot, this is really tiring, and now I don't even like driving for Uber, and now I wish I was back at my old job. So this is what I do recommend for people who, if you're watching this and you don't like your current job, if you work at Taco Bell, if you work at McDonald's, if you work at, it could be literally anywhere. Maybe you work in a bank and you don't like working in a bank anymore. This is exactly what I recommend. Work at your bank, then drive for Uber and Lyft on the side, and while you're doing that, apply for other jobs. Don't quit your job until you have a new job. That way you're doing your job, and during your off time, you're driving, increasing your income. Now let's say you're making $40,000 a year at your normal job that you don't really like that much. Now while you're searching for a new job, your income's already increased to 50 or 60,000. Then when you get a new job offer, you can tell them, hey, I'm already making 60K a year. I want an increase in income. And this is totally normal, guys. You can easily negotiate. This is it's called job hacking. I actually don't know if that's what it's called. Maybe I just made that up. But this is what a lot of people do right out of college. A lot of people, I went to UC Berkeley, and I worked in tech a lot. And this is literally what people do. They apply to 100 places, right? They get interviews, they get job offers, and then as soon as they get 1 or 2 job offers, let's say, right out of college, or you're a software engineer, you get a job offer for $70,000, right? That's pretty normal. Then you take that job offer and you go to your next interview or job offer. They offer you 75, they offer you 70, right? And you go, oh, well, I'm already getting 70 at this one. What do you have? And then they give you 75. Then you go to the next job. And then now all of a sudden you have 10 offers, and you're just literally telling people, oh, hey, you know what? I'm already making 80 here. And you literally start back from where you came. Oh, I just got a job at Google. They're paying me 90K. Can you offer me more? And guys, if they like you, they will do that. So you can easily do that. You don't need to be a software engineer. This works for any field. So, try, maybe not every field, because some of them are pretty set. Who cares? You have your life, play around with it. Play around with your salary. This is the game of life. So try it out. All right, the next one is number 7. This is more practical. If you don't have a good Uber car, what do I mean by good Uber car? If you drive a car, let's say you drive a 2018, 2019, well, whenever you're watching this, let's say you drive a brand new, I don't know, Ford Fusion, right? You just bought the car, you financed it for $30,000. It was $25,000 plus tax, plus fees. Ends up pretty much being $30,000, right? You don't want to drive that car for Uber. That's a really nice car. You don't want to put a bunch of miles on it and decrease the value on it. Now all of a sudden you have a car loan for $30,000 and your car's now only worth $20,000 because you just drove 50,000 miles on it with Uber. Even less, maybe it could even drop in half. Maybe it will go down to $15,000 value. You don't want to be upside down in your car loan. It's not smart. So I wouldn't drive for Uber if you're driving a brand new car, or if your car doesn't qualify. I would just drive for Uber if you have a used car, or maybe even look for a nice used car, $4,000 or $5,000 car. That's definitely what I do recommend. So yeah, number 8, the 8th reason why you should not drive for Uber is because you have medical limitations. If, I don't know, you know, I don't want to call people out, but you know what you have. Driving is dangerous enough. You don't want to pair that with, I don't know, I don't even know, like if you have insomnia, even like, I mean, there definitely are exceptions, but like, let's say you have trouble sleeping at night. You know, you don't want to be driving and falling asleep because you're like missing out on sleep. Or if you have, I don't know, even for me, like I have tendonitis, and it has been too bad to a point where like it even hurts to hold a steering wheel for a long time, you know. There are a lot of people who like, okay, I actually did have a couple people ask me, like, I think she was in a wheelchair or something, and she can't get out and open up the trunk to load groceries. That's fine, you know, you don't need to you can just, if you actually tell somebody that, they will be more than fine to load their own groceries, load their own luggage. And say, hey, you know, actually, you know, I hurt my back or whatever. But like, also keep in mind, know your own limits too. You know, I'm not a medical professional. You know, this is not legal or whatever. You know, seek your own medical, talk to a doctor about driving for Uber and Lyft if you think this comes into question, but know yourself, you know, is driving for many hours every single day or however many times you want a day, is that healthy for you? So that's number 8. If you have medical limitations, even for me, like I also have a torn couple ligaments in my knee, and sometimes I've had to take days off because it hurts to drive. I know like you might not understand that, but if you do have a torn ligament in your knee, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just really uncomfortable to drive a lot because sometimes it can strain your knee depending on the seat, depending on the, you know, gas, like how you're touching. It's a long story, but know yourself, you know what I'm talking about if this applies to you. If it doesn't apply to you, then, you know, be fortunate that, you know, you're happy and healthy. But anyways, guys, those are my reasons why you should not drive for Uber. Again, I hope this did help. If, again, there are exceptions to pretty much every one of these rules, but for the most part, these are what I've come up with on why you should not drive for Uber. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Again, always make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're watching this video and you're not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor, do me a favor. I mean, I need the numbers, you know. YouTube needs to pay me more. I don't know. If you want to be notified when I post videos about Uber and Lyft, subscribe. Anyways, guys, you guys are great. Let's be friends, connect on social media. I'll leave all my links down below in the description. I'll talk to y'all soon. You guys are the best. Honestly, positive vibes. I'll talk to y'all soon. All right, bye guys.